Hi there. In this tutorial I'm gonna explain a little bit about CSS navbars. It's not a big deal, but to do a navbar loaded from a MySQL table is interesting in my case. Alright, let's create an HTML. I'm gonna make here this sample without a design, a CSS. So it is a navbar, and this nav we use the very first UL, and this UL has Lee, it does not have style, don't worry. Okay, after the one element I will have here a new level, there I'm gonna add here UL elements using Lee elements. 1, 2, 3. Let's test it. So the second level is right here. I'm gonna add here a new level, always indent your code to be able to read it better. So this one is the first level, this is the second. How about add a new level here? This will be a new level. You can add here UL elements, and these UL elements will have two levels, two elements. Interesting. So let's create a style for this. So the UL will have position with an absolute property. How about load the CSS and see what happens. It goes into the header, and I'm gonna load a link using a relation with style sheets with a link So the UL elements will have an absolute. I'm going to use a margin. And I don't want to add a list style. I'm going to add it known. And let's use a background. You can define the colors here. Let's say, I think it's a green one. It's a green or blue. Alright, let's define here the Lee elements styles. I want to list it as inline blocks. And to make little padding here would be fine. 5 pixels and 10 pixels for top and left. And to make a relative position for this Lee elements. Position relative. Right. So the I have to define the second levels and make a hover effect. If the Lee element has a hover and has a UL element, I want to display that block. And I want to hide the second element. And these positions will be absolute. And I'm gonna use padding, 5 and 10 pixels. It's almost ready. And if there is 3 ULs there, the ULs should be absolute positions. So these elements has a new level. All right. So the question is how to load this structure from a MySQL table. First is to create a new table. I'm using a database in PHP I selected the test3 and create a new table, menu bar, and use 3 fields. The first one is menu ID. I'm using a primary key, which is a auto increment properties we'll have, and menu name, length is good enough. And the third parameter could be what is the parent ID. To make the same structure, let's insert the first levels, the 1, the 2, and which one is the 3. So I have here the 3 top levels. This top level will have nothing. 2 will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, another new level. So the 2 is a new level, which is in this menu item with the menu item ID 2. So when you insert the second level, you can name it 2/1 and the parent will be 2. So again, if I add a new level into or under the level 2, the 2 sorry 2. So the 2/3 will under so the parent will be the 2, which is the 2 ID. It is the 2. So this 2/1 and 2/3 is under this level. All right. So the next one, the 2/4. Let's insert the 2/4. 2/4 is under the element 2. And the funny part, when I insert 2/4/1 and 2, I will see which is the level's ID. So the /2/4's ID is 7. So when I insert the parent, ID is 7. So again, 2/4/1 has a parent ID, which is 2/4. It's almost ready. And the 3, this one, has another new levels. 3/1, 3/2, and 4. Alright, so let's have a look. These items ID, the 3 has an ID 3, so the 3/1 has an ID 3. This 3/2, you can add multiple values, and 3/3 with the parent 3. Alright, let's have a list. This navbar, I'm gonna copy and paste it to see the original one. Okay, the first thing I need to make is to connect the PHP to the MySQL. So the connection will equal MySQL ly connect, and I need several variables here. The first is the host and username for the MySQL and password for the MySQL and database name. To connect a MySQL using the MySQL ly, the first parameter is the host, the second is the username and password and database. My logins here, the host is localhost, the username is root without password, I leave it empty, and database is test3. I will create here a function to load the menu. I want to pass which parent ID I want to query. Then I need to create an SQL, select everything from the menu, which is the table, where the parent is equal with the parent ID I will pass, because when I first run this function I wanted to load the first level, and the top level has parent ID is equal 0. I want to run the MySQL. To use this MySQL connection here, somehow I need to pass into the function. In this case, I'm using global variable to tell the function this variable is global, and I'm using it as a MySQL link, a MySQL connection. So I query here and run this query and go through the results. Okay, and I'm gonna echo the elements, where I have here href using an empty link. In here I'm gonna echo the menu name from this table. But when I list it, I need to open a UL element. So before I list the elements, I have to open a UL. And in here I'm gonna call this function as a PHP. So I open the PHP tag, which is closed here, and run the function called load menu and 0, because I want to load the first level. Let's hide the original one. Alright, so this is the source code. In here I have the elements. I have to close the elements. But there is no another levels here, because somehow I need to embed here the second level if it has under elements. So how to get if this level has levels here. To make it, I need to change the MySQL query to load the menu name and menu ID, and I have to count how many levels this level has. To make it, I have to create a count how many levels from this menu table, but I have to use an alias. So let's call it menu2. I will use an alias here where the menu2 menu ID is equal with the upper tables so the menu ID, the original table, is equal with the alias table parent as counted. I'm just call the result as a counted field. Let's have a test it. Let's echo the MySQL query and run in MySQL or in PHP myadmin. What we have here now. So the 1 and 2 and 3 is the result, and it goes through the table and find out with the menu ID 1 how many parents results there. So the menu ID is 2, how many parents, so how how many items has this element as a parent. So with the menu ID 2, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4. So it gives me how many child has these elements. So if and I can use this result, this count, in the cycle if the counted is empty, means this element does not have a child. What's happening? Just echo. But if there is a child, so this element has a child, then echo the element, but do not close with the elements. Try to query all the childs. So I'm gonna call load menu and now I pass the menu ID into this function again. So you can call the same function inside that function, but you're standing in. What will this do? This will load. If I pass the parent ID 0 at the very first run, I need to delete the echo SQL here. If you say the source code, the function runs as recursive. So this will load the whole levels I passed here. So simple. If I need it, I can reuse the function, recall the function, and this will generate the same thing again and load every new levels, right? So the task is almost ready. The last thing is hit a like and you can subscribe to the channel if you like this video. If you want it, I will write the download, the source code into the description. Alright, let's try your version. If you have a UL navbar already, now you can create based on the MySQL table. Alright, bye bye.